we got ourselves some ReZero conspiracy theories. This is called Elsa is inside Garfiel. Elsa is Garfiel. Now, everyone knows at this point that Garfiel is having these delusions, right? These like hallucinations, as if he's fighting like his inner beast, as if he's fighting some sort of inner monster, like a battle shonen main character. Elsa is within him, and I thought that it was not much to it. I thought it was just some PTSD, some memory reflections. But after the most recent Nearly Unread video where we talked about this, we did see Elsa bite into Garfiel, and Garfiel bite back. And Elsa is a quote-unquote vampire. So is there something going on there?
As we know from the latest episode of ReZero, everyone's favorite gut hunter was crushed by Rock Piggy and
Rip.
subsequently died. As for us light novel and web novel
That's right. She actually died as a zombie, kind of, to the backdraft explosion.
readers, we are also aware of the zombie Elsa scene,
Yes.
in which a mindless husk version of Elsa attempted to kill Subaru and then was reduced to nothing but ash
There
by
it
the
is.
backdraft explosion in Roswell.
I
Manor.
remember.
However, what if I told you that there's a crack theory that Elsa is still alive?
I mean, I wouldn't say she's alive. What does alive mean? Like, the soul exists, I'm down. No physical vessel, but a soul, right? And we clearly see that in Garfield's, schizo moments in season 3.
But in a way that you may not be thinking about. This theory was thought of by Ice from Witch Cult
Oh, shit.
Translations, and
Shout
some
outs.
information was provided by Truden Black. To understand the basis of this theory, I highly recommend you watch my Is Elsa a Vampire video
We will probably watch that at a different time.
to understand Elsa's past and how she became
But I do vaguely understand that Elsa is like a vampire. She's from Gusteco, right? She has a crazy fucked up backstory.
what's known as a cursed doll.
That's
With
right.
that said, this video will
Garfielsa. What in the hell are we doing right now? That is beyond cursed. But you know what? You know what? This doesn't look half bad.
contain spoilers for Arc 5. We know that Elsa was an imperfect
This what?
spoilers will contain spoilers for Arc 5.
Oh, we're in Arc 5 right now. We're probably talking about, how Elsa is present in Garfield's delusions.
We know that Elsa was an imperfect cursed doll, and every time she killed the other cursed dolls, she would absorb their power and essence, becoming more and more complete. The curse which turned someone into a cursed doll was actually devised by one of the old witches, and was compared
lore.
to how the Witch of Envy would swallow the other witches, absorbing their powers, and in the process becoming stronger and crazier after each absorption.
That's kind of crazy. The comparison to the Witch of MD literally absorbing the souls of the other witches to become powerful. What Elsa's doing as the cursed doll thing, I didn't think there was something so important there. And the curse, you said it's made by one of the old witches?
Was actually devised by one of the old witches.
One of the old witches. Who could that be? I'm just gonna blame Echidna. I'm gonna blame Echidna for everything.
Absorbing their powers and in the process becoming stronger and crazier after each absorption. This is something that is a legend and was discussed by Sithonia Featherrun in Apocalypse Girls.
Oh,
However,
lore.
what happens if in the process of the mansion fight, Garfield killed Elsa with Rock Piggy and then in that instant actually absorbed Elsa? However, the only difference is that since
Like, rather than Elsa absorbing other people and becoming a complete cursed doll, you're saying Garfield is the one doing that? But Garfield was never really cursed like that. But what about the blood? What about biting Elsa and Elsa biting him? Does that play into it?
Garfield is not a cursed doll himself, he's simply not compatible with any boost of power it would have normally given him. The mindless husk Elsa, seen in the mansion, as it's burning, is simply an empty vessel, as Elsa is now inside Garfield, and that would actually match up.
Because remember, she does turn into a zombie. And then she dies from a backdraft explosion. Why would she be a zombie? Because her soul pretty much isn't there anymore. It's like just like a husk of a vessel. And now that whatever soul makeup of the cursed doll thing is now within in Garfield. Does Garfield get a power up from this? Does he get all the powers that Elsa, was basically just like stockpiling as she was becoming like a perfect cursed doll? Does Garfield get a piece of that?
Now, some people may think that this is actually far-fetched, but there's actually additional information which Tappei added in to the Arc 5 light novel.
Okay.
2 months after the events of Arc 4, during the 1-year time skip, Garfield would start...
This art is hilarious. Hold up. This girl, I think we saw her before, right? Anne Rose or some shit? Biko and Petra, who are already so tiny, are too tall for her and can't get a fucking view, so she's pissed off. That's hilarious. Garfield also being very awkward by the professional, suit like that. Otto with the hat, like Mr. fucking Monopoly. Okay, alright. Who is this girl? The green girl. Her design is cool.
The 1-year time skip, Garfield would start hallucinating, and he starts seeing Elsa alive. In fact, there are...
Even before episode 1, like in season 3 in the anime, right? Obviously, we see Garfield conversing with Elsa, but this has been happening leading up to it.
2 notable additions which were added into the light novel. The first taking place when Garfield and Mimi investigate the city hall. This is where Garfield nearly dies, and Mimi gets wounded. During this, Garfield hears a voice whisper to him. The voice then states, "You will die, and then I will, with love, embrace your guts, Garfield." Huh? In addition to this...
What does embrace your guts mean? Elsa will take over Garfield? I don't know. I doubt it's, Garfield dying and then Elsa just saying like, now you're dead too. Haha, fuck you. I'm going to now, look at your guts for a bit, and then we're both just gonna disappear. Elsa taking over Garfield will be pretty cool.
During the City Hall attack, so this is when Krush and Subaru are fighting Capella, and when Ricardo, Wilhelm, and Garfield are fighting Teresia and Kurgan, Garfield also sees Elsa alive in the corner of his vision, of course again hallucinating that she is there. So why has Tappei added all of this information in there? Is he trying to foreshadow something?
It has to be, right? Why bother? Well, I think that this builds on Garfield's character. Like, this is additional characterization that he is now kind of like possessed, and he has all these insecurities about not being as powerful as Reinhard and the family issues and just being a mentally turmoil, and Elsa's kind of there jeering him. Could all these things lead to Elsa eventually taking over Garfield? That'd be really cool, but it could really be just as simple as just Garfield just going through all this shit and kind of like builds on his character to see if he can overcome these issues. I want to see Elsa take over though.
Now, I do want to point out something very interesting. We know that Garfield's goal is to become the world's strongest, and Tappei has hinted that Garfield will most likely achieve his goal, which leads to a very interesting development for Arc 7. Garfield will be...
Should we watch this part? I'm gonna skip this part because I feel like it's just too important.
So of course absorbed 4 other cursed dolls, and Garfield absorbed Elsa, which makes it 5. He would then become a perfect cursed doll,
and that would then add to Garfield becoming like the strongest. Like the whole, again, the stockpiling of Elsa cursed doll stuff with Garfield. It'd be cool though if Elsa doesn't just completely take over Garfield, but Garfield is able to like have some sort of like hybrid sharing, almost as if like Elsa's like mentoring and like coaching him rather than just like full hostile takeover.
Because he would have completed the ritual of absorbing 5 imperfect cursed dolls, and therefore he would become immortal. Anyways, that's it for this quick theory, but let me know what you think down below. Do you think this is plausible? Is Tappei setting something up? Or is this just pure crack theory?
I don't even think that this is crack theory. I feel like crack theory is when we say stuff like Otto is, like Otto is Pandora. Or like other crazy shit like how Teresia took back shots from a Beastman and therefore Light Baten Kaito is the sun and therefore has the Grim Reaper's blessing, which we know that is completely false, right? We're just memeing with that. Garfiel's, I am down. Because we clearly see Elsa. We clearly see extra hints. And all the motivations and goals for Garfield and how Elsa's presence in Garfield can make him stronger. And if he does, you know, get all the potential powers that occur stalls and bro just becomes like OP, like I'm all for it. If Elsa actually takes over Garfield, I'd be kind of sad because I kind of want Garfield there, but if we can have like a hybrid moment where they're kind of like working together, that'd be really sick. Here's a link to Jake's video. Give the video a like. Check out his channel if you haven't. There's a treasure trove of ReZero content there. I'll see you next time.